Hello everybody and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Story Justice for All. In the last episode we went back to the circus to investigate more about what actually happened that fateful night. And yeah, we rustled up some things, practically a ransom note in a sense, what happened to one of the performers that we met, and who we might have a grudge against. So without further ado, I think it's time to dive right back into the action. So hopefully you guys have had a good day so far. December 30th, the final over number 5. Let's see what. Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up for it. Hehe. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. You know, actually, we're gonna do some live editing here, because I just noticed that. So, for the people that don't know, I added the chat box over there to make like everyone more of a part of it. But I recognize here that it's a bit too wide. So I'm just going to go in here quickly. Gonna be a small pause, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Width. So let's try this. I think it's gonna be, that's better, but I think we can do like that. That seems good. That seems good. Okay, let's continue. Regina. Oh, fabulous! My sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today? Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on. Or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning, Twilight. Going fully accepting or something. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo. Top of the morning to you, Governor. Top of the morning. As a ticket, attacking the day starts with the energy in the morning. The early bird gets a word, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. No, it's not funny, Mo. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. What the fuck is... Oh my, thanks. How are you today, right? Well, I've got a feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He got guts to spare. All I got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is. I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. What are we going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get the past Acro and to the truth. You're right. But it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she can finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes. That's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, But I don't believe in people becoming stars. Who the funk? Like a Mo being realistic, holy shit. Court is now a session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. Prosecution ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arise. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene. On my orders. Poor Gumshoe. Very well, please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work. Or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Okay, this might be the wrong observation, but how tall is that wheelchair? Because I don't know, like, I might not have seen, like, really stands in person, but, like, they usually at least come up to, like, at least your, like, the middle of your chest, kinda. But his wheelchair is, like, above it. So it's like, Jesus. Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. I'm surprised they also, like, I slipped in Swedish. Like, I'm also surprised that they got to, like, get his burps in here. Where were you the night of crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at a map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. Yeah. It was just after 10 PM and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness testimony matched up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there's very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix, right? Just like your old friend, Mr. We don't talk about that name in here. Your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Right? You have a problem with the witness's testimony. The words of Miss Von Karma. May I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well. You may proceed with your cross-examination. So, the thing I found especially weird is that we have established some things that why did that? Oh, it's because this statement bugs me, and I'll see if it turns out like the light in the room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the sealed cat, as well as a cloak wrapped around his body. See, this is what bugged me, where he was like, what did you see? And it's gonna become apparent why. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony. Yeah, so there is a contradiction. Because we know with the Seal Cat, it was found at the crime scene. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? I present to you. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The sealed cat. What about the sealed cat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame, because you would have noticed the sealed cat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it. This is Max's sealed cat. Hey, what's up, Andy? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 sealed cats? Yes. Yes, that's what I'm implying. It's like, oh, but in reality, what? There's 2. No. It's a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means Acro. Like you've been fibbing on the stand. Again, how large is that wheelchair? That's either a huge wheelchair or a tiny ass stand. Or everyone in this universe, like in the game and everything, is just like 4'2" or something. Order. As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? I do believe Acro is grudge against Max. No, he has a grudge against Regina. I don't think I was dreaming, so this is the only option left. I would assume, at least. Like, yeah, real culprit, right? Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. Ah, funny, because murder, no. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He has 3 burps. It's calm enough for it to be it's calm enough for it to almost be scary. What the fuck? Oh, this is so the thumbnail for this episode. Just this. He's staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of murder of all things? See? Even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. He's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix, right? You're trying to drum up support from Peanut Gallery. That's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Well, no. Why? Like, how could he? Like. Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Order! Order! What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove it how it all fits together. I have to show Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, now let's do this. Mr. Phoenix, this witness is a killer. And his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Miss Dinling? Well, the thing is, because of the fact that he didn't have an accomplice, and he can't move on his own, the only place he can be is in his own room. He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room? Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you propose is impossible. Yes, that's it. Is it right? Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there's no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? Wee! I forgot how stupid that looked. Why, it's still impossible for humans to fly. You mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... He's right. I can't mess up here. I've gotta give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while I was in his room. No doubt about it. I'm to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, is right? I mean, we have to present evidence, right? I don't know what. Well, let's just see here. Not this. This was from the cafeteria, so it can't be this. No. Wait a second. Couldn't this be... I think I got it. I'm going to present some evidence. So what Mr. Dingling used to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry. Because we know it's like from where's the autopsy report now again? Blunt force trauma to the back of the head. And he could, since he was taken from the cafeteria first, he could just, you know, fucking poof. What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? It's quite a large bust. And because it is life-size, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah! See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Order! Order! So saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible! Well, Acro's an acrobat. He should have more than enough of the upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Is it Dingling? How do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro. Oh, okay, ow! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? On karma. He's just using this testimony as a rouse to stall for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way once in a while? Is it Dingling? I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, you can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it possible for me to unknow the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I have no doubts in regards to this witness' testimony. It was possible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention they could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What's your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. I can't let her get to me. Gotta focus. Oh, I'm afraid to press anything. Because we've established before. I am curious about this though. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I were carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there's no way that I wouldn't know the location of the Ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose we've got a point. Hey, Nick? Huh? What if you turned things around? Maybe you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. All I could prove somehow. But Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. I think I've already explained things efficiently. Yeah, we didn't get a penalty. I'm gonna look at this as well. If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it, you're right. I could have done that. However, there's no way I could land a direct hit on a ringmaster's head. So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? Acro is strong enough to lift up the bust. The main problem is how he could have aimed for ringmaster's head. I wonder if they use some kind of tool to aim for a ringmaster. That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you got. I have to be careful. I had to find something that fits perfectly with the case. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. Or maybe we overlooked something. I want to go back here. Wouldn't it be... The victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. Okay, the music stopped. That's a good sign. Acro, you really need to lean out the window. Did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. You're silly hinting at things is pointless. Mr. Phoenix Wright, enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box there? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You. I bet you had to chat to your stream now. Yeah, so you pop up down there. You see there, Eddie? You pop up over there. I don't know if your entire name is seen, but you know, you're still there. You're still there, buddy. Were you sitting here wondering what the fuck that square, like, what that rounded rectangle was? You're sitting here like, what the fuck is that? The bus was to fall on the point marked out by the wooden box. There would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No! Order! 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 This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tire themselves up. Now it's gonna keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all I had to do was lowering it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Ow! Yeah! Ow! Yeah! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. But the size? The weight? Wait, 20 pounds? Isn't that like really light? Or something? The weight? Please work? The box has a remarkable weight. Weight. According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift out this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool! Where's that bird going all the time? Is he sitting in the fucking roof of the court or something? Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you play this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I mean, I do remember, but... I mean, yeah, I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. And what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? It flew. You see, Miss Phoenix, right? Explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Ah! Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bus from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But there's no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Alright, Miss Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? That is a good question. Actually, wait, hold up. Isn't it like shiny and shit? That looks fucking shiny, and I know someone that likes shiny stuff. Hee hee hee. A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Ah, Acro. Money's a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room. Well, yeah, probably, because if I remember correctly, in Acro's room there was like a tuba and shit. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order! Order! I said order! Miss Von Karma, where's the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as a murder weapon. Wait. Do you mean this bust was the murder weapon? Purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyway, I think we've more than proven on one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! I mean, we're not a moron here. His right arguments are so circular, I'm a bit dizzy. Yeah, however. His argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled. Especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? That's awfully rude. You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a medical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. I mean, since the bust was used, the bust looks like Max. Ah! There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick? Don't let her beat you now. I won't. It's my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? I mean, who is the only one? I mean, I think it's just present the bust again, right? Cause the thing is with how the bust looks, it has the hat and everything, and you could probably just get the cloak onto it. Like, he saw Max's... Ow! I asked who was the other person most saw on the scene. The evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère. I wish I could say that better, but French. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Most said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? It's simple, really. Well, Mo actually saw the night with Max's bust. He saw Max's cheats. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one of the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot! Who in the right mind would put a cloak on the bust? It doesn't matter who put it on a bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the most importance to this case. Don't you agree? Are we Homer now? No! I can't do that. He caught me. So let's have him, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Yeah, that is... I mean, the only one that could put it on is the victim himself, right? I don't know how the fuck that, but that's the only thing in my mind that makes sense. Fool! Him? You're saying it was the victim himself? Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. I mean, the victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself! Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. My voice cracks. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached the rope to the bust. He dangled the bust out of his bedroom window, directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his prophet, Ben and Trello. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. The very instant that the bust hit the victim. You wait a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just can't be true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circuit isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound of a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out of his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out this window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And whoa! Whoa! It's flying! And this is how the magical murder disappearing into the sky came to be. You see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. A burp again. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. He has come to the end of his rope now. So? What now? You've graced us with a rather long winding tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. Power of evidence and the power of my whip. Yeah, use some casual verbs. And Von Karma, that power of the whip, I'm still sure you're not allowed to have that. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. It's right, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick? They say they want evidence! I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there is still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get us out of this jam. It's enough talking amongst yourself. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. I mean, Mo. I don't think it's Mo. Well, Mo has a contradiction. What was it Mo said? He saw him flying up. But we know from Max. It is also the fact that didn't Mo say that he saw the silk hat? I'm gonna try with this because we know the bust has, you know, a hat as well. But if it fell off the victim, because we saw how, like, in the theoretical, you know, donk and the cape snagging onto the bust, we saw that the hat was on the ground. But then obviously we see the hat, you know, just like that. So I think this. The problem here is Max has 3 symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other one. So the theory is presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? No, Von Karma, no I don't. Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you got one. But what about the other contradiction? Other contradiction? Remember what the ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said there was no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course! I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged on the bust, what happened to the white roses? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah! Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Order! 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 Private judge, no. It's quite a shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karna will finally throw in the towel. Oh, she won't. That doesn't happen. Yeah, see? Does that look like someone that's about to give up? That's someone that's just so fucking smug about this entire thing. More burps. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible depth of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Garner, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about this relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive. So, I have a feel. I don't know. It feels like the trial is over, so I'm just gonna give my 2 cents on this. what I think it is the fact that we established that he holds a grudge against Regina because of the thing that happens to his brother. How come more comments? Is there no one else? No, there is someone else. Because in the first trial there was someone else, the dude with the glasses or whatever, the one that is like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Von Karma is just determined. Just like, Phoenix Wright is on that case. I'm the prosecuting. Yeah, not defense attorney, by the way, Andy. We're the defense attorney. She's the prosecution. But I'm gonna give my 2 cents on this. What I think happened is the fact that he feels a grudge against Regina because of the thing that happened to his brother, thanks to the lion and everything. And I don't know, something about the lion as well, because the ringmaster put it down and like just spoils Regina or something like that. Makes him hold a grudge against him as well because of what happened to his brother. So maybe that's why he did it. And surely not everyone goes to Von Karma for every case. Yeah, I don't know. Seems this case isn't over yet. Well, however, I feel this is a good place to take a break. Okay, I was right. I will listen to the rest of Miss Dingling's testimony after recess. His court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Alright, well, that's gonna be the end of this. Yes, we would like to save our progress. So, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Next time we're gonna reach the conclusion, maybe? Because I think this would probably be the final trial. How many trials have we had? No, we've had 2, so there could theoretically be 1 more, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, we'll see you guys next time. We'll see how we can rustle out Acro's motive. So, I wish you guys a very nice continued evening, afternoon, morning, or whatever it is whenever you're watching this. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, I highly suggest you do to get to know whenever I'm uploading a new video, as I do so practically every 2 days. So, until then, I'll see you guys in the next episode. So have a good one, everybody. Stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next episode.